This week's Brandon's blog tells the story of how the Royal Bank of Canada closed out the accounts of one Thomas Nisab. Thomas was a 30-year customer of Royal Bank, but the bank closed out all his accounts after he complained about customer service. In this video, we provide an overview of the more detailed Brandon's blog below on how you can protect yourself before this ever happens to you or your company, and how to navigate the challenging situation if it ever does happen to you. The key topics we cover are the sad story of Thomas Nisab, the root causes for account closures in Canada, warning signs to watch out for, how to protect yourself before it even ever happens, and immediate steps to take after you are debanked with your accounts closed out. My name is Ira Smith, president of Ira Smith Trustee and Receiver, Inc. Both Brandon Smith and myself are available to answer any questions you may have, either about this Brandon's blog or anything else at all. So shoot us a message, give us a phone call. We would love to speak with you. I hope you can watch the rest of this video and you find the information helpful.
Have you ever thought about what would happen if your bank account, the one you use for everything, was just gone, closed without any real warning? It sounds like a nightmare, but for a lot of Canadians, it's a shocking reality. So why on earth does this happen? And, maybe more importantly, what can you do if it happens to you? Just let that sink in for a second. 30 years, 3 decades of loyalty, of building your entire financial life with one bank. And then one day, a single piece of mail arrives, and it all gets turned upside down. This isn't just a hypothetical, this is a true story.
And this is exactly what happened to a man named Thomas Nisab. He'd been with RBC for 30 years, and then he got this cold, formal letter telling him he was being, and I quote, unbanked.
And we're not just talking about one account here. The scope of this was absolutely staggering. It was everything. His personal savings, his checking account, his Visa cards, his line of credit, all of it canceled. Even his investments were frozen. And the worst part? No real explanation, and just 30 days to sort out his entire financial life. It's the kind of thing that could send anyone into a total tailspin. And that's exactly why this story resonated with so many people. It touches on this deep-seated fear we all have that the financial stability we just assume is there, well, it can be ripped out from under us. I mean, if it can happen to a customer who's been loyal for 30 years, it really feels like it could happen to any of us. So why do banks do this? It feels incredibly personal, right? But the truth is, the reasons are almost always about business, about risk, and about that fine print that, let's be honest, most of us never read. Let's dig into the legal reality of it. Here's the kicker. When you open a bank account, you sign something called a client agreement. And buried deep inside all that legal language is a clause that gives the bank the right to end the relationship for pretty much any reason they want, as long as they give you notice. They don't need your permission. They don't even have to prove you did anything wrong. It's all right there in the contract.
So, what kind of thing actually triggers this? Well, for personal accounts, it's often red flags like suspicious activity, or maybe a pattern of overdrafts and bounce payments. Defaulting on loans is a big one too. For businesses, the signs can be even clearer to the bank. I'm talking about things like struggling to make payroll, bouncing checks to suppliers. These are huge warning signs that tell a bank it needs to protect itself, and fast.
Okay, so the worst has happened. You've got that letter in your hand. Panicking is totally natural, but what you need right now is a plan. You are on a 30-day countdown, and believe me, every single day counts. So here's what you do. Let's break it down. Week 1 is all about damage control. Your mission is to secure your money. That means opening a new account at a different bank immediately and starting to move your funds. Let your employer know. Let anyone who sends you money know. Then, in week 2, you focus on rerouting everything. All your pre-authorized payments, your direct deposits. And those final weeks, that's for cleanup. Tying up loose ends and making sure you have all your financial records. Now, having an action plan is absolutely essential. But I want us to take a step back and ask a much, much bigger question. Because dealing with the account closure, that's just treating the symptom. What if we could actually get to the root cause?
I mean, really think about this for a moment. The bank closing your account feels like the entire problem, right? It's huge.
But what if it's not the problem at all? What if it's just the final, painful consequence of something else going on under the surface? And here it is. In so many of these cases, the bank isn't reacting to you as a person, it's reacting to patterns. Patterns that scream financial instability. And the most common pattern of all? An unmanageable debt load that's creating all those red flags in your financial life.
Do any of these sound familiar? Using a credit card to pay for groceries or gas because you have to, only being able to scrape by with the minimum payments each month. Maybe you're even borrowing from one place to pay another. Or maybe it's just that feeling, that constant nagging worry about money that keeps you up at night. These are the signs, and your bank can often see them in your transactions long before you get any letter. And for business owners, the signs are even more obvious to a bank. Having trouble making payroll, being late with supplier payments or taxes, bouncing checks. From the bank's perspective, these are massive alarms going off. They see it as a huge risk, and they will absolutely act to limit their exposure. So if we know that the root cause is so often overwhelming debt, then the real solution isn't just about frantically finding a new bank. It's about finding a real path back to financial stability for good. This is the point where getting professional help is just critical. A licensed insolvency trustee is a federally regulated professional. Their entire job is to help people and businesses find legal, structured solutions to get out of debt. They are the absolute experts in this area. One of the most powerful tools they have is something called a consumer proposal. Now, this is not bankruptcy. It's a formal, legal offer you make to your creditors to pay back just a portion of what you owe. And you know what? Creditors often accept it because, frankly, it's a much better deal for them than getting nothing if you had to declare bankruptcy. A consumer proposal can legally wipe out up to 75% of your unsecured debts. We're talking credit cards, lines of credit, things like that. And here's the most important part. You get to keep your assets. You keep your house. You keep your car. It is a real legal pathway to becoming debt-free without losing everything you've worked for. Thomas Nisab's story is a really powerful warning for all of us. The goal is to never, ever get that letter in the first place. If you recognize any of those warning signs we just talked about in your own finances, the time to act is right now, before the bank decides to act for you.
Look, if you're feeling stressed about debt, if you're worried about what the future holds, please take that first step. The team at Ira Smith Trustee and Receiver Inc. can help you understand all of your options. The consultation is completely confidential and it's free. It can give you a clear, legal plan to get back on solid ground. Why not just find out what your path to stability could look like?